Welcome to the Author Friendly Podcast. This is your host, Carla King, talking with the people behind the products, tools, and services you use to self-publish. Consider this your consumer's guide for self-publishers in audio format. This podcast was inspired by my consumer's guide for self-publishers in ebook format, which you can download for free at selfpubbootcamp.com. Now on to the podcast.
It's very frustrating if we hear from an author who has a new release that comes out tomorrow or yesterday to see what can we do to help support the launch. Well, those calendar decisions were made a month or 2 months ago. So as much as we can know ahead of time, that's really, really helpful.
That's Chrissy Munroe, Director of Kobo Writing Life, a digital self-publishing platform from Rakuten Kobo, who recently partnered with Walmart to provide Walmart ebooks and a co-branded app. In this episode, we explore how to publish on Kobo and what going direct means versus going wide. We learn about their partnerships, not just Walmart, but Overdrive and the American Booksellers Association, Reedsy, Damonza, NetGalley. We discuss marketing opportunities with libraries, how merchandising between Kobo, libraries, and aggregators work, and the Walmart ebook experience for customers and the Kobo Plus subscription plan. We pack a lot in this half an hour. Enjoy my talk with Chrissy Munroe, Director of Kobo Writing Life. Hey, Chrissy. Welcome to the Author Friendly Podcast.
Hi, Carla. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad to have you on because I have so many new ideas about how authors can use Kobo and Kobo Writing Life. And I want to confirm those with you in this podcast. But first, for the self-publishers who are thinking about using Kobo and going narrow with Kobo or going direct with Kobo, can you explain what Kobo is to authors and Kobo Writing Life and maybe just a little bit about your parent company and recent partnerships?
Absolutely. So let me unpack each of those questions.
I know, that was a lot to ask.
No. Yeah. So Kobo is a Toronto-based ebook and audiobook retailer. And we've been around for about almost 10 years now, but we were acquired by Rakuten, which is a Japanese e-commerce giant who now has a pretty significant global footprint and owns tons of companies, so including Kobo, of course, but also places like Overdrive that does ebook and audiobook library lending, Viber, Ebates, just to name a few. So they're really making a brand push globally. And through them, we have been empowered to partner now with Walmart. So we are delivering ebooks and audiobooks to Walmart shoppers in the US and selling our devices in stores. So backtracking just a little bit on that, we also have a line of really awesome devices we sell as well. And the way we expanded kind of previously to this amazing Walmart opportunity was to really go global. So we've launched partnerships with other retailers globally to power their ebook stores. That's really how we've grown and our blueprint for success, if you will. And so that's what we're really known for, is a global footprint. A lot of authors who are looking to expand their readership outside of the US see a lot of their growth happening with Kobo, and specifically with our free self-publishing platform, Kobo Writing Life, which is what I run. So I'm the director of the self-pub platform and what I've been focusing on for the last 5 years of my career.
Great, thanks. You did a great job unpacking that. So yeah, there's been a lot going on, and this partnership, your acquisition by Rakuten, e-commerce giant, is really significant. Especially now you've partnered with Walmart online, and Walmart is selling the devices in the Walmart stores. So
yes,
authors who publish with Kobo or publish with Kobo via a aggregator. I've been talking to a lot of aggregators on the podcast, like Smashwords and Draft to Digital and StreetLib and PublishDrive and all of those people.
Awesome.
And so one of the first things that people ask is, why should I go direct to retailer when I could go super wide and use one of those aggregators?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And it's it comes down to a really personal question about author goals, right? We make it as easy and fast as possible to set up a direct account. That does make KWL unique. The platform was created by authors, and that's really in our DNA. We try to make things super simple. So the real question is, why not? Why give away a royalty percentage or pay a fee to use an aggregator when we make it super simple to upload directly yourself and control everything directly? So that's the answer to that part. And then also we do offer a promotions tab in the dashboard where authors apply for Kobo specific promos, and that's only available right in the KWL platform. So those are two big advantages, I would say. And then we also really focus on direct support. So we have an amazing team of author support pros who sit right with me. We don't outsource that stuff at all. And they give direct, quick answers. They're super knowledgeable. So on all of those fronts, I do think it's worth it for any author looking to come to Kobo to at least consider going direct and to take a minute to set up a free account, read the terms of service and see how it feels to you, and do that diligence to decide what's the right path for you and what makes the most sense.
Yeah, and you have a really great reputation for customer service. So for instance, this is my thought about using Kobo as maybe a new author, an author just starting off publishing their first book. Because when you upload your book to Kobo, it's really easy. I just did it again right before our talk, and it took like 5 minutes. I had all my metadata ready, right? And so I uploaded a doc, and you could also upload an EPUB. But so if I launch with maybe soft launch with Kobo, and I go to the promotions tab and I say, okay, I want you to advertise this in, I want to join the marketing program. So give me an example of some different marketing programs that are going on right now, for instance.
So we update the promos page almost daily, or at the very least weekly, with new opportunities happening globally. So we'll have, for example, a UK thrillers deal, the daily deal, which is our main homepage deal. You can apply to be the feature daily deal title. We do monthly 40% off sales, and those vary by what percent off. If we're focusing on a genre, Valentine's Day sale, Boxing Day sale, you name it, we put it there. You apply with your own title. If there's any restrictions, as I mentioned, based on genre or price, we include those details so you know what you should be applying for, and you're off and running. The way we work it from a logistical standpoint is either it's a very affordable price, I'm talking about $10, or an additional royalty charge, so about 10% extra royalty that we keep, so you only pay if you sell as part of the promo.
So then if I have a thriller and I say, oh, I want to be in that UK thriller promo, and I pay my $5 or agree to give up 10%, which is super reasonable. So I submit it, and I can get rejected because you might see that the cover isn't right, or maybe the formatting is sloppy, or the metadata isn't right. The book doesn't actually really fit in the thriller category very well. Yeah. And you actually send an email to the author that helps them improve their book so that it can get accepted next time.
Yeah, we really try to work on that. We're now getting to a pretty high volume. We're giving that feedback is getting harder, but we're really trying. But if authors ever have questions on that or want advice, we always welcome those questions.
So this is why I thought it would be just such a great way to soft launch a book. Like people get in a huge hurry to publish their book, right? And they really, this is a mistake I see all the time. They slap it together. They don't edit it really well. They have this photograph that they love, and they make that the cover. The typography is wrong, and then it's on, they upload it to Amazon. And I thought, well, if you just move that over to Kobo and entered a marketing program and I'm kind of using you, right? I mean, it's like going to have thousands of authors doing this. You can test it via your marketing program to get personal feedback and to improve their book. I just think that would be a better soft launch.
Yeah, well, I think there's all kinds of ways that you could get your book out there. Of course, I'm sure you would advise this as well, but we always advise getting a professional cover and putting your best foot forward out there when you're putting yourself in front of customers, because that first impression does stay with people. But I think there is this misconception that you should, or a common approach to publishing is just to start building your base in KU specifically. And I would love to see more authors just deciding to distribute to everywhere where they can reach readers right off the bat, to get things in a really solid place and then just put your name out there and try to build your fan base as wide and quickly as you can.
So you're advocating toward aggregation, wide distribution versus narrow?
Well, I think your book should be available everywhere, yeah. But to me, wide is everywhere, but you don't have to use an aggregator, right? You could go direct everywhere and start building your direct readers on every platform.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you mentioned the getting a professional cover design, and it's often hard to find. There are marketplaces, but I just actually noticed this week that you have a whole author services page where you can work with a cover designer. Are these vetted by you guys?
Yep. So these are all partners that we trust and we believe are very reasonably priced. They're not working to take advantage of authors. One example is Reedsy, who are extremely trusted in the indie space to offer a discount on their services, trying to get freelancers. For covers specifically, we work with Damonza, and I think they do a really awesome job. We found them because we did a cover contest last year of the best indie covers we saw, and a huge majority of them were created by this one service provider. So I was like, well, they're obviously doing something that resonates with readers. So I want to flag that service for our users. So that's how these partners come to us. We know authors are using them, and we believe they're providing a good experience at a reasonable price.
Cool. And there's one area where you can submit your book for professional reviews from Publishers Weekly.
So this services page is always a work in progress. And we also highlight any new services that we're partnering with either on the blog and then also in our monthly newsletter. So we also are partnered with NetGalley. So you can submit your title for NetGalley reviews as well. So that's another really cool opportunity that a lot of authors are seeing good traction with.
Great. So NetGalley is quite an expensive service. Do you have a discount or something with that?
Well, we do. We basically divide it up for authors. So instead of paying for all of those spots just for yourself, we split it off so everyone, you're only paying for your own single title.
You can do document conversion to EPUB as well from the Word document. Is that a by hand option or is that a cloud builder?
For the EPUB conversion, we actually have two opportunities. So if you're just looking for a super quick Word doc to EPUB, you're not as particular about formatting, you're not dealing with any kind of fixed layout issues or pictures, you actually have a free tool in the dashboard that lets you do that. So as you're going through the ebook uploading process, you can just dump your doc there and we'll do it for you for free. But we are working on also in that same uploading step, adding a new partner for professional EPUB conversion. That's a higher level, so that should be coming soon.
And you offer options for fixed layout EPUBs. So fixed layout EPUBs, for people who don't know, are they're not reflowable. There's for those fancy books where you want the text to appear next to a particular picture, for example. So that's kind of nice because a lot of people struggle to get good fixed layout formatting.
Really, we try to make this what authors are asking for. If we get tons of questions of everybody wanting that, then we try to find the best partner that we can and connect the dots. And if anything, we're trying to get a bulk discount instead of doing any kind of upselling.
Okay, so the audiobooks are super hot. Who's your partner there?
So right now on the services page, we're pointing to Listen Up, who we think is doing a really great job for indies. Another obviously huge opportunity is Findaway Voices. I've heard amazing things about what the Voices platform is putting out there. And then audiobooks is a huge opportunity, and we'll just be doing more and more of that as KWL in the coming months and years.
I want to talk about distribution. It's kind of weird to talk about distribution with a retailer, a single retailer, right? But you have created a lot of partnerships. And earlier you said that Rakuten owned Overdrive, which serves the library market. And that surprised me. If I go direct with Kobo, my book is going to be available in the Overdrive catalog as well.
Yep. So you have the choice to upload directly right in your ebook dashboard in the platform. You can click upload to libraries. Yes, you set a separate library price. And because of our sister relationship with Overdrive, you get the full 50% that you would get if you go direct. So that's one advantage of uploading to Overdrive through us. And we're also doing more and more dedicated promotions with Overdrive to librarians directly to market those titles.
So do you have any best practices for that separate price for libraries? Do you recommend going higher or lower with your book price to libraries?
Yeah, so what librarians typically expect is something around the price of a mass market paperback. So that is typically higher than an ebook price. Anywhere, $9.99 and up. I know traditional publishers are going way higher than that. So it's completely obviously up to the author to set whatever price they feel is right. And they can also experiment, right? Try it where, 2 or 3 times the ebook price, see how that works. Try lower or higher, do a promo. There's a lot of opportunity, I think, to experiment there.
And so, so there's mixed ideas about distributing to libraries. Some people think, oh no, it's a money loser, and other people think, no, it's a money maker because there's more exposure. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I am very pro-library. As someone who grew up going to libraries, I believe in what they stand for, and I believe in accessibility. So I think as someone putting your books out there, if somebody wants to get your book for free, they're going to find a way to do it. So you might as well try to make some money off of the people who are really wanting to have the ability to read it and who potentially can't afford to buy it. I do think it's an opportunity, and a librarian recommending your book through word of mouth is an extremely powerful marketing tool that can be a huge advantage. So I think going to Overdrive is a really great opportunity, especially for indies, and I would really encourage people to explore it for sure.
And how do authors market to libraries, or do you handle it just via the metadata?
Yeah, so we do handle it. Like we flag titles, we do monthly promos, we have regular meetings with their merch team. So we're doing a lot of that heavy lifting. But I've also seen authors start to do direct marketing, either just by going to your local library and saying, I'm a local author. My book is available to the Overdrive catalog. Is there any way that I could work with you? I'd really like to support you, and I'm available for readings or whatever. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And just telling your readers that it's available on Overdrive if they are Overdrive users. Now the Overdrive access is available on all Kobo devices. So if you're marketing to Kobo readers specifically, they can get their titles there. So there's a lot of cool things, I think, that are still to come on the library ebook front.
I think so too. And so I borrow a lot of ebooks from my library here in San Diego, and I just, enter my card number onto their website, and they come from Overdrive.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. So it's super easy. And I have the Overdrive app on my iPhone. So
awesome. The Libby app. It's good. It's really good. I find it pretty easy to use.
Speaking of apps, so how easy is it for readers to access books that are published by you guys? Do you have to have a device? What kind of apps are available and where?
Yeah, so we're a very open platform. We use EPUB, so it's pretty accessible in terms of book formats to other devices, but there's a free Kobo app you can get on any phone, Android, PC, any of that stuff. And then obviously the Kobo e-readers are a straightforward way to get the books too. There's the co-branded Walmart ebooks app as well, and all of the Kobo apps include ebooks and audiobooks in one spot, so you don't have to have separate apps for your ebooks and your audiobooks, which is pretty cool.
So people who have Kobo devices can shop either in the Kobo store or the Walmart store seamlessly. Is that true?
Yes, it is. And it's the same store, to be honest.
It's the same
Because
store.
we're just
Got it.
delivering the same books. Yeah. So if you're already a Kobo customer, you can stick with whichever experience, but you.
So there are a lot of I guess there are a lot of Walmart shoppers who haven't
Yeah.
done ebooks yet, and so they're seeing
Yes.
the devices in Walmart and they're buying them and they're looking at the device and trying to figure out how to use it. Are they using the Walmart app or the Kobo app?
If it's a new user, they would sign up through the co-branded Walmart app. And if you are shopping on walmart.com and look for ebooks, same deal. You're browsing a co-branded website. So I completely agree with you, though, in that you're pinpointing the people who still haven't explored ebooks and had that opportunity. And I think it's a really cool opportunity for authors and publishers to reach those new readers and really engage with them in a new way, which is pretty exciting. We really haven't had an opportunity like that come up in the US in a while.
Yes, attention Walmart shoppers. It's a big argument.
Right?
And then for a long time, you really Kobo pioneered ebooks into independent bookstores with your ABA partnership, your American Booksellers Association partnerships. Can you explain how self-publishers can take advantage of that?
Yeah, so we still have that partnership, and you can still, if your local indie bookstore is using the ebook digital side of things on their website, they can sell your ebook online. So that's still a really cool opportunity, I think, in the US. And then similarly, in a lot of other online retailers around the world, for example, Chapters Indigo here in Canada, self-published titles are available on their website as well. So.
And that's something that a lot of authors who are self-publishing are worried about. They want their local independent bookstore to be highlighted. Dang. Okay. So there's so much I want to ask. And why don't we just go through the Kobo Writing Life experience? So where do authors go to find out how to publish their book on Kobo? Kobo.com/writing life got me to my US writing life. And I suppose if I was in Canada, it would take me to the Canadian writing life site, right?
Exactly. Yep. And that's the best place to get started. We offer a lot of information on that landing page. You can read the terms of service, and that's how you get a free account set up. We also have a blog that we put new posts on very often, several times a week, and we also post new podcast episodes. So we have a free podcast as well. If you're listening to this, you're probably a fan of writing podcasts. So that's a really cool thing. I love podcasting too. I think it's such a great way to share stories and information and quick updates. So we've been running the podcast for many, many years now. So KoboWritingLife.com is the blog. We're always looking for new stories. So if you have something cool you've been working on or a new idea you want to share, absolutely let us know about that. We share success stories, strategies, platform updates, basically everything there. We also have localized blogs in France and Italy. We have the links to those on the blog as well. So you can, if you prefer to read in French or Italian, you can find out what our team is working on there, which is pretty exciting. And then if you have direct questions, like I said, just email us. writinglife@kobo.com is the best way to get in touch. And our team gets back to you usually within hours, but at the very most within a day or so to get you an answer to any question or whatever you might be thinking about.
And then are you active on Facebook and Twitter or any other social media?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've actually been starting to do once a month an author takeover of our Facebook page, which we announce a couple weeks in advance every month, bringing in thought leaders and success stories to answer any questions. So we are lining up our third one for later in September. So we always share a blog post about that ahead of time and a bunch of Facebook posts. We have a really awesome Instagram account. It's mostly just inspiration, daily writing inspiration. But we also do some giveaways there of devices, so it's a cool way to potentially win a Kobo. And we just started building up our Pinterest page with lots of Pinterest boards. Yeah, our team is all about social media. We love it, and it's such a cool, wonderful way to engage with authors. It's really amazing. I love it. I don't know what we did before these platforms existed.
I know. I find them very connecting. I really like them.
Yeah.
So then you also have this thing called Kobo Plus. Can you tell me about that? I actually looked this up a couple hours before we talked today, and I was like, what? This happened? Or it's been here forever and I haven't ever noticed it?
Yeah, so Kobo Plus is now 1 year old, so it's still in the toddler phase.
Mhm.
It's a subscription service specific to the Netherlands and Belgium. And that is a country where you see a lot of ebook piracy. So we wanted to find a solution to try to engage those readers. And so we launched this ebook subscription service with our partner, which is bol.com. A huge number of Dutch families have Bol accounts, like millions and millions of families. So it's rolled into that subscription experience. And we're seeing a ton of growth there. We're seeing publishers who put in backlist titles that haven't seen sales in years really start to grow just because they're seeing presence on the subscription model. So you can just opt your titles in through the Kobo Writing Life platform. You just click enter this title into Kobo Plus, yes. And it is not an exclusivity requirement at all. We do ask that you leave your title in there for 3 months because it takes a while for subscribing readers to discover a title. I think that's true on the a la carte side too for any retailer, but that is the one requirement, but you don't have to delist your title anywhere else, for example, to opt in.
And I lived in Holland for about 8 months with a tech
Oh, right.
years and years ago, and everybody speaks and reads English very well there.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
English language titles are really common because there's, way more English books written in English than there are in Dutch.
Absolutely. And Dutch translations are quite expensive, exorbitantly expensive. So Dutch readers are used to not getting everything from North America translated into their language. But we're seeing a lot of popularity of romance and mysteries and thrillers. They're big time commercial readers and nonfiction readers in general. I think it's a really cool opportunity. You can do targeted ads, truly, to Holland and tag Bol. Try to engage those readers. I think it's a really cool thing that authors should think about and build a Dutch readership. Why not? You can. I think these opportunities are really unique and exciting.
Well, for me, as a writer of adventure travel, the Dutch are just crazy monster travelers. So I would do well to publicize my books there. That's something new I hadn't thought of. So you said tag Bol, B-O-L, tag them in social media, or how do you reach them?
Well, you can target Bol on Facebook ads, for example, as one idea.
I see. So do you think Facebook ads are a good idea for authors? Are they worth the money?
I feel like you're opening a can of worms. But I do think it is worth authors learning about them and experimenting and seeing what results they get. I think they work for a lot of people. Sometimes they are working and then they stop working and you should take a break and try them again later. But I think if you're serious about building your sales, you should absolutely learn about them. If you have a marketing budget, try it and measure your results and see if it's worth it for you and go from there.
Right. I had a budget limit of $5 a day for a week, just to play with something. And then all this pixel stuff came along and now I'm lost again. I have to learn about Facebook pixels.
I know. I saw that today too, but I feel like I was at a romance conference, maybe 2-3 years ago, and they were all talking about running pixels on various things. And so there we go. Romance writers ahead of the game yet again.
They are, aren't they? Somebody told me it doesn't matter what you write, you should go to a romance writers conference.
I was talking to someone about that today too. That's so funny you say that. I completely agree, by the way. I totally agree. Get over the imposter syndrome and go see what they're talking about.
So just talk to me about this still. When I could reach Kobo with Smashwords or Drafted Digital, StreetLib, PublishDrive, what do I give up on Kobo Writing Life? Can I still enter Kobo Plus, or what can I do and what can't I do when I reach your sales channel through an aggregator?
Through an aggregator? Yes, you can. You absolutely can still go to Kobo Plus through, I believe everybody that you named offers it as a checkbox under Kobo. Usually it's like, go to Kobo, yes, go to Kobo Plus, yes. I know that is how Smashwords and Draft to Digital both do it. So you still have that opportunity, absolutely.
And can you also take advantage of the marketing programs that you offer?
You do not get the promotions tool specifically. Usually the people running each of those platforms would have their own separate vendor relations and merchandising managers that they're in touch with here, and they highlight their own titles. It's just, streamlined through a different way, but you don't get the promotions tool specifically, no, because...
Right. And speaking with one of the aggregators who was telling me that she gets merchandising information from you, like your thriller, British Thriller Month, and she knows that. So her team sends you those books, right?
Yeah. So you get opportunities just in different ways. And of course, you can always market yourself regardless of how your title is coming to any retailer.
Just an additional question, because a lot of authors don't realize how merchandising programs work between stores and online retailers and aggregators. Can you describe what that's like and how to take advantage of those opportunities for authors?
Yeah, it's a complex question. And it's different for every retailer for sure. So we obviously do use data-driven decisions. So in terms of personal recommendations, we do want to create the feeling of like a curated bookstore created just for you. So we base the recommendations that you get in the app and on your e-reader on what you've read and what you liked. And you'll get specific emails for that. But then on site, we do a lot of human-based editorial merchandising where we have a global merchandising team who's making decisions based on the information that's given to us from publishers, aggregators, and from the self-pub team. So they're getting tens of thousands of books flagged for them every month, and it's up to them to decide what lands on the homepage and what gets flagged. If we know a book is really heating up, to potentially send an email about it. So it's really a combination of those two things, and I think that is a challenge as a tech company, any tech company now, right? To blend the true advantages of big data and the human side of things that has to be involved and makes it a truly informed decision. Yeah. So I think from an author perspective, what you can do, to go back to your question, is to plan ahead as much as you can. If you have a calendar of the next several months and you can put your books up for pre-order, for example, that really increases your chances of us learning about your book. It's very frustrating if we hear from an author who has a new release that comes out tomorrow or yesterday to see what can we do to help support the launch. Well, those calendar decisions were made a month or 2 months ago. So as much as we can know ahead of time, that's really, really helpful. And I think it's helpful as a best practice for authors too, to have a plan in place if that works for you.
Yeah, a launch plan and good, well-researched metadata. Wow, we've covered a lot. Have I missed anything?
I would say really for Kobo, it's important to have that great cover that's going to help you stand out big time to the team, to merchandising, and to customers all down the chain. That's what's going to jump out to people. So take the time and put a little money. You don't have to spend a lot. You can spend under $200 to get a really amazing professionally designed cover. So I really hope that people will hear that and go for it. And other than that, exactly as you said, clean, edited metadata, and just trying to keep your eyes and ears open for global opportunities, because those doors are just opening bigger than they ever have before.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
So, wow, you've already given so many tips. Is there any last thought or tip you want to leave self-publishers with?
I think you should really think about building a reputation that you're going to be proud of forever. there seems to be just this inclination to really hurry up and put books out there as quickly as possible. That's the trend that I've seen over the last, 2 years especially, and to do this rapid release schedule. And some people can write super fast, and if that's you, that's really cool. But I think at the end of the day, you should always be trying to find new quality readers who are going to stay with you for the long haul. And to do that, you have to be putting out great work. So just focus on the book. At the end of the day, put out a book that you're proud of, and that's going to help you grow and see the sales. It might not be immediate, but you will see it over time.
Great. Well put. Thank you. Well, thank you, Chrissy Munroe from Kobo. We're really pleased to have you on the podcast, and we'll catch up soon, I hope.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity, and great to hear you always, Carla.
So that's it for now. I hope you'll listen in to the next episode of the Author Friendly Podcast, where you'll hear more voices from the people behind the tools, services, and products you depend on for your self-publishing journey. Find the show notes at authorfriendly.com, along with links to iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, SoundCloud, and all the other places you can listen to the podcast. And can I ask you a favor? Ratings help float the podcast to the top so that other authors like you can find it. So if you'd navigate to your podcast subscription service and give it some stars, I'd really appreciate it. Also on authorfriendly.com, you'll find free resources like my Consumer's Guide for Self-Publishers, which was the inspiration for this podcast. Yes, this is my obsessively updated ebook with reviews of the products, tools, and services that you'll hear about in this podcast. They'll help you not only write your book, but design it, format it, print, distribute, and market your books, and also do business as an author. If you need more help in your self-publishing journey, I've created a complete series of online courses that will help you with all of those tasks. Just go to selfpubbootcampcourses.com or pop me a note via email at hello@selfpubbootcamp.com, or just go to the site, selfpubbootcamp.com, if you have any questions at all. Okay, signing off again. I hope you'll subscribe and tune in next week for the Author Friendly Podcast, your consumer's guide in audio format to help guide your self-publishing journey. Thanks.